Well, hello everybody. Welcome to DeFi Syndicate with my man Phamous and your lovable Captain RG3. What's happening, everybody? Oh no, we've lost your sound. We've lost your sound.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. My bad. How's everyone doing? Yeah, how's everyone doing? I got the spaces in the background. You might hear it, but sorry for that. But
Well, I'm good. Let's see what the chat room's looking like. Who we got everybody in here? Oh, look, we've got the Queen Serena Alonzi in here. Crypto Gains Club, 369, Melf Tony, all the good folks in here. Dorsey, look at that. Hexagon Sean, I like that. And Crypto Journeyman. Welcome, everybody. We're getting ready to do some DeFi syndication here.
What's up, HexMag?
What is up? Oh, HexMag. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Trap, look at Trap. We got the the Trap himself is hanging with
Trap? How are you,
What's
Trap?
up, buddy? So, what did Hexagon Sean say? Bullish, famous. I'm gonna shout out my name. Call me Top Dog, or we'll dump 5,000 eggs now. Okay, Top Dog. 2.6. Thanks, Mel. Appreciate it.
I was about to ask Mel for the price. That's hilarious. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mel.
He always pops it for us.
I know. I was going to ask him.
Never fails. He's got it out there for us. Awesome. So what's up, man? How was your week today? This week?
Honestly, man, IRL busy as hell. Everything's going good. Everything's going to plan. Business is good. Metaverse, we're doing amazing. The community is doing amazing. We're getting through a lot of how do I explain? What's the perfect word? We're getting through a lot of bumps, meaning that I think that there's a lot of positive that's coming out of the community lately. A lot of good content, a lot of good spaces, a lot of obviously what Richard's been posting, a lot of good stuff in the air, and you see a bit of people like toning down a bit, and I think we're moving forward in a different direction. The big hype for me this week, and I'm just going to leave it here and we can continue. I just want everyone to understand this. Hex allows you to mint and acquire the best NFT possible on the marketplace. And that's it. Next. Okay. So what is up with you, RG? How is your week going?
So far, so good. I'm just staying busy, keeping up with the Twitch, watching for V3, because I know somebody who had dinner with Richard and talks to devs in a tighter manner than I do, obviously, knows that V3 is coming out. So I'm watching the Twitter for the announcement of V3, and people who are more in the know than I am.
Wow. A lot of people have been saying that. People have been saying we don't know. 2 more weeks. I'm just gonna keep it 2 more weeks, just for comedy's sake.
That's the only thing you can do, man. I mean, it's become comical to even talk about how close it is. How close it really is. It's so close. It's so close. Oh man. But but still no changes, nothing new other than Richard put a bunch of stuff about Merkles and all that good stuff, right? Let's read this. So 7 hours ago news. Stage 7 takes a long time. It's on block 6,664,977. Right? No, that's not. That's right. 6,664 of 15. So it's halfway through. Doing whatever it's doing. It's been running for 19 hours. So that tweet was done earlier this afternoon, I believe. So that would put it close to being done, I would guess, whatever it is that it's doing. It's been running for 19 hours. Blah, 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 blah. Batch 5.1 megabytes allocated equals 14.4 gigabytes. Oh, look at all that cool stuff. Wow. It's close, guys. It's really close. I can tell. Can you zoom in right there at the top of that code? I can tell how close we are just by looking at this.
When did he post that?
Get that off my screen. It's giving me a headache. So there it is, people. There's your pulse chain update there.
So when was that tweet sent?
That was this afternoon, I think.
At what time?
It might have been morning time. So that might have been about 12 hours ago, maybe 12, maybe
9 a.m. So if that was 7 hours ago and it's been running for 19 hours, that means that 12 hours in, it did more than half. So you would need another 5 hours from that tweet in order for technically that to be updated by the average time. So
yeah, whatever that means. So 19, Maui is saying, so 19-7 equals 12 since the tweet. Okay. The TLDR is that development is going great. Okay. Development is going great. Okay. Good. But that means it's still developing. It's still developing. So nothing new to report. 2 more weeks.
Oh, you know something. Oh, you know something. Look at that smile. He's like, oh, these suckers. These suckers.
I don't know. I don't know shit. I don't know shit about shit. That's the damn truth, man. You know, from the beginning, I've been in the dark. I've been on the dark on everything from the beginning. The only thing I had any inside scoop on was the making of the highest of stakes. And that's because I was on the team that, you know, filmed it and did all that stuff and was filming for them or with them. So other than that, and that's over with. Now I don't know. I don't know much about what's going on. I think we have an update meeting Friday. So Friday we have an update meeting in the highest stakes. So that's cool that we do have an update meeting. So that means something's going on. But that could be anything. I mean, last meetings we had were about the gift packs that came out, and those are still for sale, by the way, on the highest of stakes website. You can go and pick yourself up one. I bought them for gifts for people, so I have a bunch of them. But you should go get yours. Get a very cool album with it, DVDs, if you can play a DVD anymore. But anyway. Okay, so what else? 18 days. What did Hexmax say there? He says 18 days until V3. You heard it here first.
Yeah, you put it back up. So he did 3 + 6 + 9 = 18. 18 is the number of hours until it's synced. And then he wrote 18 days until V3. You heard it here first. Conspiracy solved. Perfect.
Got it. Okay, Mac, I got you. That's what people were doing, like in the early days of the Hex launch, and when Pulse Chain Sacrifice was going to come. I remember everybody was wondering when the sack was going to happen. When sack phase. And then we kept hanging on every word that Richard would say, and people were doing math on things that he had sitting around, you know, and all that kind of crap. And I remember when he had red candles or green candles, boy, everybody would freak out and like, what do you change the candles? They're green now. They're green. The candles are green. That means we're going up or up and to the right, you know? And yeah. And he's like, no, I changed the candles because the other ones, you guys had me light them and they poured all over everything and got everything messy. And so now I put green candles in this time. So yeah. What are you reading the chat room?
Can you make, yeah, I'm reading the chat. Can you make Phamous look like a joke for 10 seconds? Do you have the filter? Come on, man. Well, I want us to look like him. I don't want to look like him.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, much excitement, maybe for no reason, but lots of excitement. A few people tweeting out there and making everybody FOMO for the Pulse launch.
I think it's V3, man. V3 is going to make a nice spike.
Think so? Think it's going to spike things? things
Yeah,
gonna
and
get people
then it's
excited?
gonna go back down. We'll see a nice spike, but it'll do the typical doom doom. It's supposed to. Like you look at the linear line, and it's getting there. We're getting there. We're getting back on track.
It's
We look at,
moving.
we're getting there. It needs to
It
bounce
started
back.
moving
There needs to
today.
be a reason to bounce back. And V3, because you have to understand that people will read through the lines, right? V3 means like you're even more closer for it to come.
Yeah, isn't
Correct.
that like the final
It's like the final
iteration?
lap. It's like the final lap in a race, right? Like you're going all around it until that one last flag where they tell you this is the last run. And when it's the
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's kind of like the last play and you're playing against Tom Brady. You're like, oh, this is
But
the
when they
play.
switched the plan, though, does that not make this the first version, though, of testnet for the new version of Pulse?
Yeah, it makes sense too because the last test net was just to show you the copy and the Balsam burn, the code for the burn. That's all they wanted to technically do, in my opinion. Like, okay, yeah, liquidity was also cool, but you don't need liquidity is the same on each. The staking.
Yeah, it sure was
token
nice
is the same.
playing around with PulseX, so my goodness.
It was, and you also had that buy. From my opinion, it was more to test the buy and burn, and and to show people like, hey, you're gonna get your copies. Look what happens.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I think the next step is that.
That was good. That PulseX is exciting. Very, very exciting. I keep saying it, but I think PulseX is going to be the shiny object in crypto. I think that they're going to be all over it. All over it.
We'll see what the incentive token is.
It depends on how it settles too.
If it's a duct tape shit token with weak gains, then it is what it is. Then we can think about the other coins. But if it's what I think it's gonna be, strap your boots. Strap your boots. But it's okay. It might not happen. I have these fantasies that I think about things, and I'm just like, oh, this could be the best situation, and it would be perfect. But I guess it is. Sometimes what's the best might not be the best. So. It is what it is, right? Incentive token to come. I think. What do you think about the wallet? You think he's been doing anything with that? Because Richard always gives us something extra.
I don't know why he wouldn't. I think that he probably does. I mean, that's my thought. It's not that hard to say fork one of these wallets and then make it actually work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean. The problem is these wallets, they're programmed and made by crypto geeks, you know, and it's like, it's the absolute worst, man. I mean, MetaMask and looking at a transaction and trying to see, I mean, why is it that the banks who supposedly suck can make a piece of software that shows you all your accounts, all your transactions? You click a button, you know, you can download a PDF file and print it out. And we don't have a freaking wallet that acts like that yet. You got a transaction ID, you click on it, you end up in Etherscan, which is just freaking ridiculous to go into that thing. You know, if you're not a crypto person, if you don't understand and you pull that up for the first time, it's like, oh shit, turn that off. I don't want to go in there. That's scary. You know, I mean, it's just like, why not make a wallet that shows you your transactions, you know, in dollar amounts or in whatever currency you want it to be? It's not hard to do. It really isn't. So hopefully Richard understands and knows this, and we're going to get a wallet that's fucking comprehensive, that people can actually use, that you can query and look at old transactions and see what you spent and where you spent and how much you bought and where you bought and all that stuff, you know. Just I hope so. And I think he will. It's definitely something that's needed. And that would be a nice little surprise. You know, he does say he's going to have some cookies in there for us.
He always under promises. I think the last couple, ever since I've been in this community, he's always given more. Everything he does is like, oh, I got this. Here's an extra. Oh, might as well. Fuck it. Why do this when I could just do this? You know, like I feel like that's that's the most flexist way, right? It's like, hey, I'm gonna give you what you want, but now I got more. Now I'm not gonna tell you about it, but I'll give it to you after. So like that, you're just like, whoa, you know. So I believe Richard's gonna do that again, like he always does. So it's good, man.
And that's what some people I talk to. I've got some tight friends that'll call me up, and they've also sacrificed significant amounts of hex at the very top, and they're like, "You're not worried about this? You're very calm about the whole thing." Like some of them are like livid that this is still going on for this long, and I'm like, I just always know. I mean, just have the confidence in knowing that Richard is going to be good on his word, and he's going to over deliver. And it's going to be great. I mean, somebody tweeted out today the chain launches and where those chains went and how many X's they did. And even the worst chain out there, I forget which one it was.
CeeLo.
What's that?
CeeLo 15X.
15X? Oh, that one wasn't on the list. I'm sorry. The worst one on that list, it was like the top, I think it was the top 10. First, the lowest one on that list was like 189X. And it wasn't obscure, but it was if you look, dig it up. Let's see. I think
I've been preaching that, man. I've been saying, if you go look at the past examples and you go look also at the average times, it's not more than like 750 days, 800 days. And they usually reach their peak. But that's also because most of them are bridged in liquidity. So it's like you make it you run it up, and then you take it out. Bye everything. Us, we won't have that problem because you can't take out anything. Every time you take it out, you're recreating something new.
Oh boy,
it's gonna be fun.
I'm trying to see if I can find it because I want to. Oh man, somebody put a meme up of what's his name? The guy in jail right now. I forget his name. Andrew
Bankman-Fried.
No, the other one. The macho man fucking guy out there talking shit to everybody who just got arrested for supposedly being a human sex trafficker or whatever. What is
really?
Name? Yeah, everybody knows who this guy is. Andrew Tate. There you go.
Andrew Tate. Oh,
yeah. So they made a fucking meme of him, and it's freaking hilarious. But anyway, most I can only imagine what posting. Oh my gosh! Wow.
It's coming.
No, I'm just looking at the the most influential people in Hex. Wow. That's a interesting list. Interesting list, to say the least. Where is that, man? Who put it out today? Somebody put that out. I wanted to pull it up. But anyway, the smallest, X gains were by one of them that did 189X, and that's freaking phenomenal, man. I mean, imagine your pulse sacrifice going 189X. Pretty damn good. Nothing to complain about. Pretty exciting. So those are the things that keep me excited. I can wait. We waited for 3 years for Richard to even launch Hex, the AA adoption amplifier. And then we needed another, year for that. And then, the run up, and now the bear market. That seems so quick. That run up was quick. Hexagon said he was murdered. Who was murdered? Maxwell publicly saying he was murdered. Oh, Maxwell. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Not sure. Tate. Maybe Andrew Tate wasn't murdered, was he? No, I don't think so. There'd be a lot of news on that. I haven't seen anything on that. But anyway, Dorsey said at 189X, he might make $189.
Some people are gonna freak
Epstein.
out. Some people are gonna some people that had like little like they're gonna buzz. They're gonna see their $20 make something and be like, oh cool. And they're gonna think about it and be like, whoa. And then their eyes are gonna go like,
what did I do?
It's gonna be like that meme where it's like, oh no, what did I do?
What did I not do?
And then they're gonna miss out because they're like, it's going to $1 million.
And they FOMO in. They'll FOMO in day one and miss the dip.
I think that would be funny to happen, but I feel like something is gonna happen. That's gonna be. It might not be that. It might not be because of that. It might be in between this time, but I feel like there's gonna be a different. There's a change in crypto. Like I sense it, you see it, you feel it. It's portrayed different. It's being utilized differently. It's being talked differently. It's not being. It's something is happening, and the outcome might be different, man. It might be very unrealistic.
I think that the rest of crypto is scrambling because they've lost all their bitchin' tools that they thought they had. You know, this whole yield farming deal was all the rage, and it rug pulled on all of them.
Yeah.
You know, and they laughed at us, the people holding their own keys. They laughed at us, and and they're all going, "What the fuck do we do now? What do we do?" You know, I even see some of those guys that were talking shit. What's that damn show? I forget it. It's those two guys. The one guy was crying when Richard told him.
Bankless.
Bankless. The Bankless guy. Man, he's just like, he's putting out his tweets like he's just clueless, man. Like he's just figuring some of this stuff out. And it's just like, oh my gosh, you guys. And people still follow them like, you know, beware of all the newbies, guys. Beware of the newbies trying to tell you what's going on. People that just showed up in this community, and they want to tell you what's going on. I want to tell you, all of you OGs that have been around here for 3 years, they want to tell you when Pulse Chain is going to launch. They want to tell you that they're the biggest influencers in crypto now. Jeez, man, this is driving me crazy. I'm serious.
Oh, wait until it launches and then everyone starts talking about it and they all act like they've been about it and they're like, this is the best. And then we're going to look at them like,
people that literally showed up like 6 months ago are like the most influential people in Hex. Get the fuck out of here. Serious. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous.
You could also say some of them are switch ups too, but we won't talk about those ones.
Yeah, and we got switch ups too. We got people that are switching.
It's a normal occurrence in crypto, but it's okay.
Yeah.
They say first is the worst, second is the best, though. No, but not, kidding aside, man. It's like at the end of the day, consistency, experience always matters, man. So like when you look at it, it's the new people wouldn't be in the position they're in if it wasn't for those who came before. So you got to respect that.
Well, I don't see much of it being respected, but
it's okay, man.
We'll see. When
the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
Yeah.
It's just maybe because we're so programmed to feel the negative more. Because I do see a lot of positive, and that's why I try to focus and like portray it more. And lately, like we've been doing that, and like Spaces has been a wonderful place. We actually are starting to get like a full weekly curriculum where there's Mondays, and then you're on Mondays, I'm on Mondays. We got us together on Wednesday. We got the Spaces, Pulse Chain Media by Funding Jim. We got the Walrus Space with Liquid Loans. We got it's at the end of the day, it's not just about what's being said. It's about being able to all come together and say, okay, what do we want? Right. And there's also, shouts out the trap gravity in the chat. You know, there are also people that stick to the point. You know, the whole point of what Richard does, which is save people from their own bad decisions, right? And they stick
Mhm.
to the core. They stick to the, you know, the full-blooded Hexagon. There are other people that are going to venture out in other communities trying to, you know, figure out a way to like pitch this. And I think I figured out the best way to pitch it to, and this would probably be bulletproof for everyone in crypto, because it's like everyone is on this, everyone's trying to get towards that. But imagine being able to get one of the biggest communities that spend all that money daily and being able to go up to them and say, pitch them something that never mentions the main sauce. And you get them to ask you, well, what's the main sauce? And you say, Hex. And then they just look at you like, what? Because after a year of doing this, I realized that the more we tell people, the more they don't listen. Because people never listen, right? When you could go blue in the face, people will not listen. But when they ask you a question, they listen. So if you force them to get intrigued into what they'll inevitably ask you a question, which is what allows me to do this, right? At the beginning, I said Hex allows you to acquire and mint the best NFT on the marketplace currently on 4 different chains, right? So like
Mhm.
3 are normal, 1's testnet, and soon to be 5 with the real one. That, anyways, I don't want to talk about that. But at the point is, you're able to acquire something, and you're able to pitch it in a way that like most of the people that are into crypto currently are intrigued about this fictional nonsense. And then when you pitch it the proper way, the intelligent way, and the profitable way, there's no way they don't say no. It's like, why pay for something when you could keep your money and have the same thing and be able to do the same things and more, right? Because NFTs all have unique utilities. But what if you had all the utilities that are in DeFi? That would be awesome, right?
Mhm.
Imagine an NFT that's collateralized, that allows you to stake, that allows you to trade it, and that allows you to borrow
Imagine.
from it. And
Imagine.
you know what gives you the power to do so? It all starts from Hex,
T-shares.
T-shares. And then you know what you could create? I'm sorry. You could create a rarity you could create this decentralized competitive rarity. And what I mean by that is currently NFTs have a centralized rarity. Why? Well, people create a 10,000 project and they create the rarity. And therefore you have to have a competitive central rarity. As to this way, you have a decentralized competitive rarity where whoever has the most is technically number one, and whoever has the least technically is at the bottom. And then you get this good, like this healthy competitiveness where everyone can make it.
And
And
one of
now
the
you
other
just
unique qualities, one of the other
oh, okay,
unique
let's go.
qualities of an NFT is that they're upgradable, they grow, they
Oh,
can mature, so they can become more than what they were by certain things happening, things like to that nature. So
and you're
NFTs are very
guaranteed. And in this NFT, you're guaranteed your principal. So you never
yes,
spent money on the NFT. So technically,
it's par.
it's free because you only have to pay the transaction fee. It's free. All you have to do is pay the transaction fee, right? So it's all
Yeah.
free, guys. Just explain it.
Well, we know that the transaction fee thing only for to mint a crypto hasn't turned out to be so great.
Well, no, because no, but it's true. Like, let's say, right? Everyone thinks this. It's free, right? To mint the crypto. All you gotta
Mhm.
do is pay the transaction. So then you can have an NFT for free and you keep your money. Holy
Mhm.
shit. And you get more.
What a way to
You're able
onboard.
to, Jesus. It's like, and you own your own keys. And it engulfs all the first principles of crypto. Whatever that means. Lol. But I hope everyone understands my play of words about this. So this allows you to get into the conversation with those who, because I find also like when you're talking coins to coin and you're battling, you could battle. But when it's an NFT and a coin, the NFTers are more open, right? Because they're down for like they don't understand this whole coin community. Like, oh, we're the best, right? If they've never been in Bitcoin and they're just in NFTs, it's about the community. It's about being able to talk to one another, trading between one another. It's like there's an active community. As to in the coins, it's more like we're the best. No, we're the best. No, they're not better than us. We're gonna get more gains. But the NFTs, it's like no, let's have a community, and that they can relate to us. So we suck them in, and then once that, and then you give them the sauce, and you say, "Here, enjoy." Why spend money? And then the intelligent ones will stay, and then the other ones you'll have to explain it. And what's more important is they'll ask you the question, well, how do I get this, right? You like you asked me at the beginning, what is it? So is it this, or how do I get this? And then they'll listen better instead of you just being like, oh, did you know Hex, I could stake it, it's immutable, it's T-shares, it's best mechanism, and then you're just boasting. It's like imagine you were in a pitch and the guy comes up to you with a prototype and says, "Hey man, I have an option for you. It's the best thing. Nah. Trust me, nothing beats it." You look at him and say, "What's the catch? Why you need me?" You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes you gotta. And shouts out to Humble. He with this. He's a sales guy, and he got this in my head. And I was like, okay, well, how can we do this? How can we get the people to ask more? So, yeah. Well, we're gonna try it out, guys. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to the Maxi way of stake your stuff on etherscan.io. So don't get mad at me. I'm just trying to get something. We're trying something out, an experiment. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, I think that there are going to be multiple products that come out that make this onboarding process a lot easier. Especially when it comes to these types of products with, you know, the HSIs that we're talking about. It's all up in the chat room. But yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot more because of the T-share. I think there's going to be a lot more crypto projects that are going to be built around them. There's just going to be multiple ways to skin this cat. That's for sure.
Yo, Trap, you got to get one of those plants that grows the hair, and it's Richard Hart. It's going to be a top seller. I'm telling you, find that, go Alibaba and figure out someone that could get, you know, those things you pour in and it grows the hair, and you should get the Richard Hart.
Hey, we'll call it a furry, and we'll have a sack for it.
Let's see if we could get. It's like whoever. Let's see if Richard's hair can grow back to the way it was before Paul's shit. You know, it's like a whole
the King of Hearts look. Has anybody ever noticed that Richard's look was the King of Hearts with the throne and the hair and the whole thing? He looked like the King of Hearts.
No way.
Look at the go pick up a playing card. Look at the King of Hearts. Look at the King of Hearts. We'll pull it up here in a minute so everybody can see it. But yeah, we can get a chia nutsack gift set for Richard. You get a Richard head and a nutsack. You grow chia out of.
Oh, there's so many cards. Holy shit! What's the classic one?
Bicycle.
Oh yeah, eh?
His hair. The King of Hearts.
He took out a beard though.
I think that's what he was going for. So what else were we chatting about this week? Nothing really going on in the news. Other than dumb politics.
February 1st, no? February 1st?
What about February 1st?
I don't know. I heard like a macro talk about it, like something happening on February 1st.
There are some things going down, and I can't remember what it was.
something in the with the finances and like I don't know if it's your government or something.
There is something going down, but we're not. And I think it happens on the 4th, to be honest, and I can't remember what it is. I'll have to get back into that mode and start reading the daily periodicals that I go through. But yeah, February. I think they pushed the Gox release out again. What I heard was that they were moving that back out, and that might be. It was supposed to be March. Now I think they're moving it all the way out to September. So those coins aren't going to be released.
Okay.
Debt ceiling is now. So the debt ceiling actually is happening now. And I don't know if you understand what that is. But we have a little political tool that is being used lately called the debt ceiling. And it's really, it's always been a nothing burger. Because what it is it's not even raising the amount of debt that we have. It's paying the bills that we already have. And that's what people don't realize, is that the debt ceiling is not, we're going to spend more money. It's no, we're going to make good on the money that we have already obtained, whether through revenue reduction, meaning tax cuts or whatever programs we've cut, or through just spending on infrastructure and all those kinds of things. So if we're not taking in money, which I really hate it when people say, they should run the government like you run your households. That's bullshit. I don't want my government to run like my household or anybody's household for that matter. It's a government. It's completely different. It operates completely different. So saying ridiculous, stupid ass shit like that makes you dumb if you do say things like that, because the government has absolutely nothing to do with your household. It's not run the same way at all. And the debt ceiling is just the U.S. saying, yep, we're going to pay for the bills that we owe, even though we cut our income and we spent all this money on this bullshit and we cut this bullshit. We're still going to pay our bill. And that's all the debt ceiling says. Now, if we say, fuck you, we're going ghetto, we ain't paying our bill, then that full faith and credit of the United States, which is never supposed to be questioned, which is in the Constitution, if you read that, full faith and credit of the United States will not be questioned, meaning that they aren't supposed to do this. But if the debt ceiling doesn't get raised, then we look like deadbeat. And so the rest of the world, who is taking on all of our debt, taking on all of our inflation, because we sell our debt. That's our biggest export is our debt, and the whole world is full of U.S. debt. And so when we give that out, we go to wreck our credit, then that pisses everybody off and hurts everybody, and then people don't get paid, and it's just a mess. So even threatening it, which is all that they've ever done, is just threaten it, creates havoc and creates problems. So basically what it is it's a hostage situation right now, where the debt ceiling is being held hostage for whatever political reasons the people that are using it want to use it for. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. So that's one of the things. Now the Fed getting ready to ease the upping of the interest rate, the basis rate or whatever it is also what's getting out there and creating excitement, because everybody knows that if they do what they call a switch, or they switch it up, they change it. If it changes direction, meaning either it stops, the interest rates stop going up, or they go down, whatever, whether they go sideways or down, as soon as they change direction, they call it, then that's when things start to change. That's when you start to see bullish sentiment out there in the markets. That's where they think that the rumors are and the talk is that a lot of money is going to be coming into crypto. And I think that more mainstream money is getting ready to come back into crypto. I think that left is coming back and coming back with more friends. So that's also what's going on. But that's not until I think March that's going to happen. That's not going to be February. Yes. So the Fed rates are in March, I believe. So that's to answer a few questions in the chat and to answer you.
Oh, my thing was muted. I said, well, we're going to have to see. It looks like March, May. Between March and May, it looks like the stupid triangles are actually proving that we're moving towards that. I think something's going to happen before summer. I think we're going to have I don't know. I think before the summer, we're going to see something happen.
It's a weird space right now because there's so much good sentiment and bad sentiment on both sides of the fence here on this thing. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, maximum pain's coming." I've seen Robert Kiyosaki mentioning that. I've seen some of the others out there mentioning that max pain is still coming. You ain't seen nothing yet. This recession is going to be big. And then I see a lot of other people saying that we're gonna skip the recession. We may not be hit too hard. Europe is going to get hit with it, but maybe the U.S. will avert a recession. But I think we're going to end up somewhere in the middle. I think it's going to be. We're going to see some recession, and it just may not be that harsh or that long-lived. We might see a quick one. Just everything just feels different right now. It's weird, man. It's really, really weird. There's been a lot of seasons and cycles that I've seen that I've been able to say, okay, well, here goes the housing market. Here goes this market. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, we ain't going to see it come back till next year or whatever. Let's just get to work. Well, I don't feel that way right now. I feel like crypto is kind of that wild card. Like, is it going to be the safe haven? Is it going to be where people park to get away from the other messes? Is because there's so much money and so much value out there with all the institutional investors. Is it going to be just part of their portfolios? Is there going to be a lot of money come in and they're just going to add crypto to it? I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Well, they need enough. They need enough trusted liquidity.
So they're the ones that bring the liquidity. So I mean, the liquidity that's in here now is sufficient for the crypto space. But once the big institutional money comes in, then they're providing that liquidity. That's why but
the point is that
get out quick.
What they don't understand is that they're coming in our playing zone. So it's like, okay, you have $100 billion. Where the fuck are you going?
Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you.
$100 billion off of.
Let me stop you right there. This isn't our backyard. These people who are coming into this space know the tricks, the scams. They know the way to invest. They know. Look, they pulled out before this FTX debacle happened. They knew that institutional money left before the first news article came out.
The shit got hacked, man, for like $3.5 billion on the bridges, and like everything else on their liquidities got thinned out. So like, what I mean is, like, if someone was to come in with $100 billion, where are they going to buy it? What are they going to buy?
Well,
where are they going to buy it?
They're obviously been OTCing that stuff. They've been OTCing in. Well, they have to.
I think they've been OTCing through all the liquidations. They get all that OTC through liquidations. So it's the only way in my mind. Where do you get that? Or else there would be crazy premiums if people would be coming in OTC.
Yeah. No, that's got to be how the money's coming in, is OTC. And I don't see, you don't see. Well, we saw a big.
Think about it. They lower the price. They have all the supply. They lower the price. They liquidate it. Well, like forget about lowering actually. So they play with the price. They have all the coins that they could play with the price. They have their own liquidity. They could play with the price. They have their orders and everything. And then they have all the OTC because they just liquidate everyone. And then they're able to get all the fees. And then they're able to just redo everything because then it's like, well, now you're stuck. But I still think the guys can't come in. There's nothing to buy. We're all holding it. I think there's a big percentage, man. If you look at it, like, how is it that you're able to have had so many Bitcoins on right now on the market ready to be done with, and people also hold it, and you're at only 67% of the total? You have all these locked up, and back in the day you only had the possibility of like 30% of it being bought. So like you're looking at it and you're like, well, where's all this coming from? It has to be them accumulating. So if they're accumulating, it's because they want to redistribute it properly. And we're probably going to go up and see a lot of, if that's what's going to happen with adoption, and people come in, like you say, with all these OTCs, we're going to see it go, because someone's going to have to come back in, get back out, because you always take something for it, right? Who takes the money? I wouldn't want the money. If I had 10 million, like, no, I wouldn't want the money. It's the craziest thing. Giving it to the it's really tricky, man. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, eventually you got to have the money. So you've got to, you've got to sell. That's until you can, buy hamburgers and houses with Hex. You're going to have to, take the money, and that's what a lot of these old Bitcoin wallets are probably doing. It's probably what a lot of this exiting is, and this onboarding and OTC trades are, is some of those guys getting out. I mean, they're up how many X? Some of them that are those wallets that have been around forever. Some of the Bitcoin that's been around, some of those big Bitcoin wallets, they've got to sell too. And some of them are, and there's institutions out there that are probably, willing to pay willing to make those big transactions for them, because
you got all the time locks, you got all the people getting out of jail, you got all the no, mom, you want to laugh, man. Good. You know how much volume 2pack.cc used to do?
Who used to do
2pack.cc? Like that shit, like they had so much Bitcoin. They had people sending their Bitcoin to this, like the most centralized way of doing it, right? And they would just, when that shit would go up, accounts just got drained. It's like, no, you have nothing left. Pure exchange stuff. And that shit was drenched. They drained, look it up. Just look up
I had the first, crypto card that came out. It was a Union Bank card. And you literally had to do this weird onboarding process through their website. And then you had to send the Bitcoin to this address. And then you had to go to this other site to monitor your card and watch how much money you had in it. And it was really dank, man. It was just swanky, and it was rough. It worked, but it was really sketchy. And then I didn't use it much. I used it a couple of times just to test it and make sure the transaction worked and everything. I think I still had $100 on it or something sitting there, but I'm sure that thing's no good anymore. I'm sure it doesn't work. But that was $100 worth of Bitcoin a lot of years ago.
Sometimes it's like, if you really wanted to make yourself depressed, like you could just go back in time and just look at some stuff and just be like, wow. Okay. But it's okay. It's the experience, man. And the experience, it's like, sometimes it's like, who better to do it than myself to learn from a mistake, right? So like, might as well do that. But we're getting through it, man. I can't wait for the future. People just don't understand. It's like, look what the HDMI did. Like, think about it. Look what that stupid fucking wire did. Saved you from putting 6 fucking things in a fucking TV that has everything, audio, everything. You understand? Like that. Look at that little thing. Look at what like touch screens did. Look at what
fucking cell phone, man. A cell phone is like my
That's
whole
crazy.
life.
Crazy.
I was I'm a grown man, working, family, the whole thing, owned a home before the first cell phones really came out, and and my life has completely changed just from the cell phone, like
Mhm.
I run my businesses on my cell phone,
On that little thing. I know
on
what you
this
mean,
little
man.
thing, man.
It's like
This
fuck a
little thing
laptop.
is
Why would
like,
I get a laptop when I can use my phone? That's what we literally say nowadays. It's crazy, dude.
it's a whole nother world. Like I have a whole nother life right here in this little thing,
And can you
a whole
believe
nother
it's
life.
only been like 15 years
It's
of that
damn
type of
nuts.
like extensive, like, oh, we could do stuff on this. Because we were like, remember the flip phone, the one that you could put up the antenna?
Oh, dude, when I worked for a radio station, we
Oh,
got the
forget about it
first
now.
phone. Now
Oh,
that was
no.
in 1990, 91.
Oh,
And
that's before I was born. Jesus, okay.
oh shit. So we got the first phone and it was this big suitcase, right? And so I'd strap this thing around my neck, and then it was a big heavy box, man. The thing weighed about 30 pounds. And you'd pull the phone out, right? And it had a cord on it that went down into it. And you used to have to stop and plug this thing into the wall to keep it charged. And you'd, make a phone call on this thing. And you walked around with this freaking luggage hanging off the side of you and this phone. Oh, but I was cool as fuck with that thing, dude. That was like,
Oh, for
that was
sure, man.
tech. That was high tech, you know.
Just think about a Walkman. You look like a G. With those
Oh,
Sony Walkman with those headphones that just went in, and walking
oh,
around,
yeah.
and you're just like, oh
Well,
man.
no, they didn't even go in. They had them like this. They were little tiny headphones that had little fuzzies on them, but they were only about that big. That's how the
Oh, like the
first
little
Walkmans
ones.
were.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They didn't
Yeah, yeah.
poke in your ears. They were just like a little
Oh, the
headset
with the sponge. Yeah, yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah.
spongies. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
we used to have them with, they were cassette tapes. You put a cassette tape, and some of the Walkmans were CDs. You put CDs in, but the first ones were cassette tapes and AM FM.
I used to have the bag with all. I used to have my bag with all my CDs. And
Yeah.
just like, oh, take it out, put it in. I remember as a kid, okay, I figured out how my dad had bought um when it was the CRW. I had figured out that
Hey, Swap.
CDRW. I figured out that CDRW was able to be played on certain compact discs, and I had a
Uh-huh.
really good Walkman that could play it. And I was like, what I could delete and re-put on? I was like, oh my god! And I remember as a kid, I remember figuring out how to burn a CD, and I was going on Winamx. I was on Winamx and I was downloading all these songs, and then we had Deminoid, and then we
I
had
forget the
fucking
one that I used to use, man.
it was
Oh, what was
Napster. It
that
was
thing
before
called?
Napster. I think
It
Winamx
was
was before
probably
Napster.
there was one before Napster, yeah. And we used to use that, and oh man. Yeah, those were the days.
Was it black and green? Was it like black, green, and red, like the colors of the Pulsex? Do you remember? Because that's Winamx. Winamx, like literally, like in my head, I'm like Winamx then became like LimeWire. Like the LimeWire took off Winamx. Because was
LimeWire, yeah. That was
Napster?
LimeWire.
But before LimeWire, there was Winamx. And I know real people that been doing this. Like
Kazaa.
I was really young. I don't even know how I got to there.
I remember Kazaa. Kazaa, yeah. Yep.
Morpheus. Oh, that's another one. Yes. Yes,
Oh
man.
man, and all the artists were screaming and crying, man. That was
Oh yeah.
something else, man. That
And then I
was,
showed my dad how to burn DVDs. Forget about it. It was like
but
Blockbuster every day. Going in, taking a DVD, burning it. Yo, burn it for me. Burn. He has the whole what is it? The Academy Award winning collection. All the movies all burnt. I don't all burnt on CDs because I did it all for him. I was such a young little devil.
and and see, that's kind of where we're at today. Like look at all that technology. That was the beginning of that was crypto. That was, these guys were in their peer-to-peer and shit. Yeah, man. And that was the beginning of all this stuff, decentralizing shit, and making it available to everybody, and taking over, and kind of like it was the first pirating, it was they were pirating out, power of the people kind of stuff, man. I was digging it, man. I love that stuff. And that's what kept me intrigued in all of this. And now here we are today. You know, crypto's has been around for 12, 13 years. And now, just now, like new iterations of crypto are starting to hit the scene. Like real DeFi can actually do what Satoshi's white paper was kind of talking about, like taking the money and the power of taking the power of money back and giving it to the people and taking it away from the moneyed interests, the elites, the banks, the complexes, meaning the military industrial complex, the prison industrial complex, all of these industrial complexes out there that have taken over the power of our money, you know, and they've taken it all for themselves. They've pitted the tax code against the normal working guy, and they continue to break our backs and give the tax breaks and give the tax loopholes to their friends and their colleagues and their people with more money than all of us, you know? And that's what crypto can change, man. That's what it can change. Those are the things that I'm excited about. And with DeFi coming out, like I almost think it's game over for the regulators to try and change or regulate the space, because in the beginning, the decentralization, true DeFi was just it can happen. This is where we can go. This is what we can do. Well, now it's here. It's literally here. And we're so close to it because the Hex ecosystem has actually created true DeFi. Like what you were talking about today with these HSIs. This is like DeFi full circle. It's happened with Hex and HSIs and the way DeFi is working now. It's here. It's happened. You know, NFTs have come to their own now. Now they're not just a picture. Now they can be things. So this is going to be a real exciting time. This next bull run, it's going to be interesting to see what wins, because I know what I'm putting my money on what's going to win, because there ain't anything else out there worth the shit. What are you going to go? You're going to go chasing more promises that they've been promising you for the last 7 years?
Bro, you tell me which coin outperformed the L1 in an L1 and in a main net. Which coin outperformed the L1? Main coin. None. Zero. None. You can add as many zeros as you want. 0 divided by 0. As many as you want. As many as you want. None. Yeah. So think about the shiny object.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds nice. It's gonna be good gains.
Yeah, the upside on Pulse is and with Pulse X to give it that cherry on top. And if we get a wallet that's comprehensive and understandable, and we can onboard people, and then all of the crypt idiots out there start building products on top of T-shares and improving the ecosystem and decentralizing DeFi even more. Oh, what a glorious day it could be. All the while, all of the 3-letter agencies are going to be chasing their tails because they're going to look like such fucktards from this whole FTX debacle. They're going to look so bad. They're going to look so stupid with the XRP lawsuit. It's crushing their all and dashing their hopes. And then DeFi is going to come in like a thief in the night and boom, railroad all of them like a freight train. They're not going to know what hit them.
I told you so.
They're not going to know what hit them.
An echo. I told you so.
Well, we've been, I haven't changed my stripes. Not my message has been my message. I've been saying the same things over and over again. And eventually people are going to start listening. They're going to start listening to us. They're going to start listening to Hexicans. people like Gary and Johnny and Hexo and Kinetics and all the rest of us. They're going to start listening to us, and we're going to be the authorities on this because we're the closest to it. We know the developers. We watched them develop, and we haven't gone anywhere. No matter how many times they've called us scammers, no matter how many times they told us we were all going to zero, no matter how many times they told us Richard was ripping us off, we haven't wavered. Not once. We're still here. We're still saying the same thing. We haven't changed our stripes like all these other influencers have. Freaking Bankless. What a fucking joke. What a joke. If you're watching the Bankless guys, you're wasting your time. Those guys are jokes. They're absolute, utter jokes. Oh, man, it just drives me nuts that people are out there listening to this bull crap, man. But anyway, it's easy, RG.
It is what it is, man.
Well,
I don't understand how some of them are still surviving, but it is what it is.
They are.
Another day.
You know why? It's consistency.
Yeah.
They've been consistently wrong over and over and over again. So as long as they have consistency, they'll keep putting out content and people will keep listening to it.
Or is it the people that are consistently stupid?
Well, that too. Well, you always have a fresh bunch of idiots coming in that are willing to listen to
100%.
Somebody who looks not like me.
They do their job, no? They do their job. They're idiots.
And doesn't talk like me, that has good words and speaks eloquently like they've been to college and like they still should be, or they haven't gotten there yet. Some of them are that fucking new. But people listen to them. I call it strong and wrong. As long as you look strong and wrong, people will listen to you all day long, no matter how wrong you are, no matter, as long as you're strong, as long as you can, get out there and say something that makes people feel like you know what you're talking about, then fuck, man, people will follow you over the cliff to their doom, over and over and over again. Why? Because we've seen it. We've seen it continuously happen over and over again. Man, it's pathetic. You crypto people are fucking idiots. I'm sorry. Most of you are idiots. Hexicans, I exclude you from this because you guys are the smart ones. You guys are the ones that did your research. You guys are the ones that don't waver. You guys are the ones that got into the right products. All the other ones, they're just chasing their tails. Anyway, that's our hour, man. We've been here for an hour. Yelling and screaming, eating shit, and barking at the moon.
I think they're freaking out that they're not suffering in the bear market.
Who's not suffering?
Everyone. It's like as if people need to suffer. The whole community, like, you understand? Like, it's like, oh, we're bitching about nothing.
These are the best days of my fucking life. The best days of my life, and we're in a horrible 90% bear market. Yeah. And I am having the best time of my life. I'm in the best position that I've ever been in my life. And I've been around for a while, fellas. I've been around for a while. And these are the best of times. So with that, we'll see you guys on Friday at the FN Hangout. Thanks for coming and joining us. We'll see you next week on Wednesday too.
Take care, guys. Stay safe.
Thanks, man.